drinking
water. Water.
Wonderful, beautiful, blessed
And
water.
where did you say that this water came from?
This water is from the mountaintops of Puerto Rico.
I can't.
From the mountaintops of Puerto Rico. It's been collected and harvested by little Puerto Rican women.
Now, you called it from the Appalachian Mountains in the
In
previous
Puerto Rico, yes.
episode, and we corrected that. You now know that the Appalachian Mountains are nowhere near Puerto Rico, right?
Okay. I mean, in my mind, anything is possible, right?
Anyway,
how are you, Chris? How are you?
I'm good. I'm just a little stressed with the whole Puerto Rican debacle.
Really? Is that what's stressing you out?
No, today is interesting because you're just like trying to get through everything. For those that don't know, my family owns 2 businesses, so that's pretty hectic. It occupies all my time. And so it's very, very stressful sometimes with compliance and things like that. But I was able to get through today.
Yay.
Whew.
Hence the water.
Right, the water. Puerto Rican water.
It's Puerto Rican water.
So, what are we discussing today?
We are having a discussion on
Hold on, let me fix my bra.
Of course. Take your time. We're having a discussion today on a very interesting topic. And we're going to talk about today gay subcultures.
Gay subcultures.
Yes, these are all of the labels and titles and individual groups of people that fall underneath the general umbrella statement of
So why
gay
can't
culture.
everybody just be gay?
You know what? We ask ourselves that question all the time, don't we? Are labels a good thing? But that's a different show.
I love labels. But yes, it'll be a different...
We will have a good old discussion about that. But we're going to talk about the different gay subcultures and kind of give a brief overview of them. There's a lot, to be honest. When we did research for this episode, we discovered there's a lot of information available. So definitely we'll provide that to you guys so you're able to research it yourself and kind of have a good understanding of where you fall. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there was a lot of labels that I really hadn't...
Me either.
heard
Yeah,
of.
it was an awesome learning experience.
But we'll get through it. We do want to discuss, not spend the entire show about all the other different subcultures.
Right.
We'll just go run through them. But we really want to introduce to our audience what is it that our culture
Right,
follows.
the one that we follow now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's most of our fan base. Hopefully.
One end of that
Right.
culture, exactly.
Well, the 3 people that will be following us from that will be...
Right.
Thank you guys. We love you.
We love you.
One of which is our best friend, and
Right.
the other one is my boyfriend. And,
Right.
And the other one's her dog.
My dog, right. My dog, Fluffy. Hi,
Right.
Fluffy.
So yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun. But so the first one is twinks.
Right.
Everybody knows twinks.
Everyone thinks they know what twink is. And
Really?
it's
So what is
interesting.
it?
Right. So when we did the research, I thought that twink specifically was just a really thin, effeminate gay guy. But there's an actual classification, right? Like they're usually an age dynamic. They're usually a body aesthetic. Like they're thin and effeminate and clean shaven.
Hairless.
Right, it was really interesting because I just associated anyone skinny with a twink, but apparently you have to be a specific body type and look and behavior to be classified as twink.
Girl, bye. That's too much.
I
I mean, I love me some labels, but
Lord, there's a good one for you
Lord
right
have
there.
mercy.
That was a specific label. So yeah, so twink is someone.
So 25 years and younger is what.
Right, it was early to mid 20s. They had to
Right.
be hairless and super thin and really effeminate. I know. I was okay, let's move forward, please. Next.
But anyway, that they don't really have an established society or anything like that.
Absolutely.
They don't hey twink, they don't say that.
They're not hey twink,
Right,
girl,
right.
none of that, no.
They don't have conferences or convergences.
Right, which is
conventions.
a really cool thing. So one thing that we discovered in that a lot of these groups don't have established places to meet. But they're really prominent in the gay community. Well, we found
they're just everywhere.
Right, exactly. So we found a lot of these cultures do have established gatherings or locations to go to, conventions or stuff like that. So it was really interesting to find that out. So what's the next one, Chris?
Let's see. The next one is jocks. but it's kind of associated with other terms that I've learned.
Right.
Gym bunnies, bulls.
Bulls. Wait, let me sit on that one for a second.
Bulls.
Literally, let me sit on that for a second.
I can't with you. You need to calm down because jocks and all of these guys, the reason why we're lumping them together is because they associate themselves to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they emphasize building muscle on the body. So kind of the antithesis of a twink. Right,
because the twink doesn't focus on physically working their body. A jock, a gym bunny, and a bull, that's their cornerstone or their behaviors that they're in the gym.
Right. Now, gym rats was also included in that one. Gym rats, gym bunnies, jocks. Now, bulls, I didn't know. I know you felt like you felt something.
I felt a sort of kind of way about it.
You were impacted.
I wish I was impacted right now.
But we don't even know. The bull essentially is just somebody who's
big.
Right, very muscular. Big, very muscular.
Massive.
You know what comes to my mind? Like a heavyweight, or what do they call it?
Yeah, like heavy lifters.
Bodybuilders.
Heavy body lifters. Like the ones that are like super like, and their waists are this big and their pecs are bigger than my head. Like, yeah, that's what I pictured. But I didn't know it had an actual classification. I would just associate them to being, like jocks, right?
But you can't. They're not really the same.
Right.
Even though they both go to the same gym.
Right. They work out.
They don't lift the same weights.
Right.
Probably.
Right.
Anyway, we probably need some more expertise on
right. So if a bull would like to join us, you're more than welcome to reach out to us. We will take any bulls.
Right.
Any jocks. Any gym bunnies and rats. Any.
I can't. Anyway. Moving on.
Moving forward. So the next one?
The next one is daddy.
Oh, daddy.
What's a daddy?
So, I thought that a daddy was just an older gay guy, right? Like a significantly older gay guy, around your age group. But what a daddy is actually someone who is an older homosexual man, but is established homosexual man. Like, for example, you wouldn't necessarily call someone who was 50 that aesthetically looked like a twink a daddy. You would call them something else. Like, they're classified different names. But the daddy group, I thought, was just synonymous to age. And it's not. It's actually synonymous to a bunch of other things as well.
So
but
it's a behavior. Is there a behavior?
Right. Like, they tend to be more, I guess you would say, more accommodating, more facilitating. They provide, certain things.
What do you mean?
I mean, it can run together.
What do they provide? Counseling? Or?
I mean, they could. They can provide all types of things.
So, I've also heard silver daddy.
Right, and silver daddy just is specific to what they look like their hair color. Like, if you see someone who's older with, like, solid silver hair, that's a silver daddy.
So a daddy would probably be age 35 and above?
Right, that's what you would... right, that would be the general group.
And then 50 maybe and above, 55 and above would be a silver daddy.
Right, but you can have someone who's in that age group that has solid silver hair, and you would call them silver daddy because they fall within the age
we have a friend who is 30 and she has white hair.
She got a whole bunch of them. Shit,
she's old.
You know when you are.
Old AF.
Old.
I can't say bad words.
Right. I just we need to talk about censorship on YouTube on a later subject, on a later episode, because I just found that out. And it's not cute, but go ahead.
Right. Well, I do it because I'm my mom,
Hi, mommy.
Right. If she ever watches these crazy ass.
Hi, mommy Piñon.
Hello, madre mia. So I don't think she'll be particularly interested in daddies and stuff.
Right. So this one should be safe.
Right.
This one should be safe. Okay. Good.
Sugar baby.
That one's a very interesting one. So there's not really an aesthetic. There's not really a body type, a look. It's just someone who is facilitated by daddies. Period. That's what a sugar baby is.
Okay.
And they can come in different body
types.
Is
there a difference like a sugar daddy and a sugar baby? Is that something that...
Well, the sugar daddy is the one given sugar. And sugar is anything in relation to gifts and facilitation to the individual that they're trying to align with. What's a good word to say? Yeah, align. Align with.
Is
Align.
that the bullshit you came up with?
That's the person they want to align with.
Right.
And the sugar baby is, of course, the person who is trying to be convinced that they need to align.
So a sugar baby, and we'll talk about love languages, but a sugar baby essentially, love language would be to receive gifts.
If that was the case, they were looking for love. Yes, their love language would definitely.
So they don't necessarily need to be looking for love.
Well, no, not necessarily. I think the thing that we can associate synonymously with sugar babies is that they're looking to be facilitated, and sugar daddies are looking to facilitate.
Oh, well, that's good. I mean, it makes everybody happy, right?
I mean, sure.
We're trying to be inclusive here.
Yes, sugar babies, please, if you want to stop by, let us know. But we ain't gonna pay you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, the next one is a real big one, and they are established. They have conferences, bars, magazines, movies now.
Oh.
They got everything. They're super organized.
Oh.
They are the bear community. Yes, queen.
Right, exactly. Yes, queen.
Yes, queen.
Right.
So, what is a bear?
This is such a controversial. This is such a controversial topic.
Bear. Look at
No, okay. So 2.5. I'm gonna take 2.5. Okay. There is a large misconception that people that look like this or have this are bears, and that's not necessarily the case. A lot of people have this misconception that a bear is just someone who's big and hairy.
Well,
right?
isn't that that's what I think of when I hear
right,
bear?
but the bear identification is actually more than that. It's a behavioral pattern. It is an aesthetic. It is also a personality type. Like, all of these are synonymous to a bear. But when you break them down, each of them, a bear is someone who's just, bigger and hairier, right? They're particularly more masculine, or some of the most masculine men within the gay community. I am a masculine man. But I'm not that masculine, so I don't identify as a bear. But yeah, a bear, it's themselves.
So this is.
I mean, I can butch it up when I need to. I mean, yeah, what's up? But no, I'm not a bear. But yes, the bears are usually a larger, hairier, more masculine man. That's gay.
So what's a cub then?
A cub. You would think that they would be like the younger version of a bear, right? But actually, cubs are more synonymous with someone who's new to the community, someone who's younger. Still hairy, still bigger than usual.
No abs.
Right. Not necessarily someone who's fit or muscular, just someone who's bigger in size, but younger, hairier, that is part of the bear community. But yeah, they're usually synonymous with age and
a lot of people
behavior.
like cubs.
I love me a cub. I do.
You like cubs?
I love cubs.
Wait, you just said you wanted a daddy? You wanted jocks?
No. I was saying for them to come here so that we can talk with them.
Oh.
I want to talk with them and see if they align to my views.
That alignment.
My views.
I see.
My views. That's right.
Them wide range of.
Yes, I mean we are a wide range.
Woo! You ain't never lied on that, girl. Okay, so there are cubs.
Yes.
Polar bears.
Right. Now, you're going to have to help me with that one because I didn't know about this one. Polar bears, there's different types of bears.
Polar bears, brown bears, and black bears are racial in
Oh, so like polar bear is a white bear?
Yeah, so...
And a brown bear is what?
A brown bear is a Latino bear.
But we're not brown. Are we brown?
Well...
I mean,
it's kind of like a caca brown.
As opposed to this one, right? Like, she would be a polar bear.
It's not a caca brown, is it?
It's not a caca brown.
It's like a mocha.
Right. Oh, that mocha though. Yes. That mocha by insertion.
Right. And then there's black bears. Oh my god, it's a tongue twister.
That water though.
Black bear, and it's not the water. Black bears, brown bears, polar bears. Remember that. Okay, so if you're into polar bears, you're into white, hairy, fat, gay,
masculine.
I'm just kidding, men. And then if you're into black bears, you're into masculine, black tops. No, what the fuck? Kidding. No, not tops. It's bear men who are gay.
Okay.
Ish.
Right. Okay.
They could be on that DL.
So what are the?
But that's another episode.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Should we?
Yes, we should.
Okay.
We should. So I don't know if you guys do this, but we have a
little notebook
of all of the topics that we want to discuss in our show. So that's definitely guys on the DL.
Guys on the DL.
Guys on the DL.
Look out for that episode, guys. It's
coming.
So I'll jot that down. The next one that we want to talk about is otters. Jenny, what are otters?
Right. So
I always get confused.
Right. So a lot of people, there's a lot of aminos in the gay community.
Aminos.
A lot of aminos in the gay community. Let me tell you. So an otter is just a tall or a thin bear, if you will. When you think about it,
isn't that a cub?
No, because cubs are still overweight. They're still bigger than usual. Then what?
So
one
they got a bit of
overweight.
a crowbar between them. One has a muffin top, the other one doesn't.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go there.
You know where the little fat hangs outside of the jeans?
Sure. Okay. The little.
So if your fat hangs out,
you know, there's a word for that, right? There's a term for that.
Muffin top, isn't it?
I mean, okay, that's cute.
What is it? I didn't know. What?
You're talking about in the pubic area, right?
Oh no. I'm talking about over the jeans.
Oh, you mean the fat that peeks over the belt?
She went to the Crocs right away.
I mean, I go there, but no, you mean
Are you talking about fupa?
Yeah, the fupa.
Girl, I know about fupa.
Fupa fascination. Anyway, but yes, the cubs would have the muffin top, if you will, and an otter wouldn't. They would be thin. They would be hairy. But the other traits translate: masculine, hairy. Ages.
Girl, I know some feminine bears. I mean, come on, otters.
I mean,
cubs.
You know what the really interesting thing is that there's a lot.
Some of the guys you're seeing are pretty. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's give all.
He's watching. Oh my god.
Well, how is he gonna know that it's him out of all the ones?
Oh!
No. I mean,
she's lying, Papi. Don't listen to her.
Lord have mercy on these cubs.
But yeah, so otters are just a thin version of a bear.
Right.
And then the last one, which I found the most intriguing of all of them, the wolf.
Oh.
So the wolf, by definition, is the most hypersexual
and aggressive
and dominant. And hopefully,
so they're hairy.
They're hairy.
And they're also athletic,
and they're muscular. So that's the difference between a wolf and a bear. Bears necessarily aren't muscular; they're just big. But there is a subculture within.
But aren't otters thin?
Yes, but they're not muscular.
Oh,
right.
This is so exhausting.
Right. It's wait till we get to the last part because we still got a few more. But like a lot of people misconstrued or misunderstand that bears are not muscular. Those are a specific type of bear, usually referred to as muscle bears or muscle cubs with the younger version. But bears, by definition, are not muscular.
So the muscle bears are wolves, essentially.
But they're big. As opposed to a wolf that's fit and muscular, a muscle bear would be still big. So they're muscular usually on the upper part, right? Because they're...
That's fit?
No, that's big.
What's fit?
Fit is this. Right, this is the sign.
So it's all about the abs.
This is the sign for fit. This is the sign for big.
This is sign language. Junie's sign language.
Big. Right. But wolves. Oh.
Junie, though, you've called upon all of these animals. What are you, Noah's Ark?
No! Can I have two of each?
Girl,
side by side.
I can't.
Let's go in there. Top and bottom, please.
Moving on.
Yes.
I would never act this way.
In public. So the next one, what's the next one?
Geeks and gamers.
I love me a geek. I love me a gamer. I do.
But isn't there a difference between geeks and gamers?
You know what the interesting thing is?
I'm kind of attracted to one, but not the other.
Really? Yeah. I think for me they're synonymous. But to answer that question, I think there is a difference between the two of them. Geeks are more, I guess you would say, more into smart things, if you will. Like they're into like history.
Are you calling gamers dumb?
No, I'm calling gamers antisocial. Because I know a lot of geeks who are very sociable. They like to talk about history and art and information.
I wouldn't
technology.
consider that a geek. I would. The difference I thought between geeks and gamers were geeks were socially awkward
I thought the opposite. I think gamers are more socially.
Gamers are gamers. They play video games.
Right. That's the reason why they're socially awkward, because they spend so much time in a fantasy world they don't know how to talk to actual people. Your hair is not cute.
I said I wasn't gonna show it.
You sure did.
I gotta do it. Next episode I will do my hair.
Please. We appreciate it. Thank you. All 2 of your fans appreciate it.
They like my hat.
They do.
They all
unless they're in Texas and they're like,
they all like the 49ers, right? Can I hear out for a shout out for all the 49ers?
Whoop whoop Cali.
We're gonna win the Super Bowl next year.
Sorry. I apologize.
You don't even follow football.
So gamers and geeks, huh?
Yes, gamers and geeks. Gamers, they're not. It's not an aesthetic. It's just more of a social activities, correct?
Right.
And that brings them together in the gay community.
Right. Those two.
They don't like going to bars. They don't like going to clubs. They much rather bring all their laptops in one room for a weekend, lock themselves
for a gamer orgy,
and play World of Warcraft.
Oh, it's so much fun. Have you ever played World of Warcraft?
Is that what it's called?
Yes. World of Warcraft. Those W's are not cut.
I'm not into RPGs. Is that a role playing game?
Yes, it's an MMLOWPQRS. I don't know. It's supposed to stand for multi.
Sounds like the gay community.
it's supposed to be massive multi online player role playing game or something like that. Like I don't remember.
I like PC games, but they have to be like RTS is real time strategy and
I'm not into real time
city building and army building.
Yeah, I don't mind those, but they're not the most fun for me. I prefer puzzle games on PC. I mean PC specifically. I prefer puzzle games and card games, stuff like that. Yes.
I'm not supposed to say.
You better
what
believe
the
that.
fudge I said.
Yeah, I believe that.
Anyway, sorry, Mom. Next one is queens and drag
queens. The queen. Woo.
I've never really understood this culture. A lot of people think I'm some kind of heathen for not following RuPaul.
It is very anti-gay.
RuPaul Drag Race.
I don't follow it either, but I'm familiar. I mean, I haven't watched I haven't watched the whole season. I haven't watched the whole season since. Oh God, who was the last bitch that won? What was her name? Oh, Bianca Del Rio was the last season that I watched.
Well, what if she watches?
Hi, Bianca girl, you was cute. Was operative word, but she likes to read, so she'll find that funny.
Oh, okay.
She'll find it real funny. In fact, she'll come for me.
Is that a thing that drag queens are always?
Girl, we should talk about that. We should talk about that. Reads in the gay community. Yes, because everyone reads. Everyone reads.
It's mean, degrading.
It's not mean and degrading.
Patronizing.
It is not patronizing. It is funny when you do it right.
Right.
When you do it right.
And finally, we came to drum roll, Chubs and Chasers.
Woohoo!
Chubs.
Yes.
Chubs and Chasers. So, what is a chub?
You are a chub.
I am a chub.
Yes, I am a chub, even though I look like a bear. I'm a chub.
So you are a chub trapped inside a bear's body?
No, you know what people refer to me as? A chubby bear. No, I am not a bear. I am not a bear. Quote me, all right?
A lot of chubs find that offensive.
Yeah, well, it's not offensive, it's inaccurate.
I want to be a bear.
You can have it, girl.
I never can fit in as a bear. Nobody ever takes me seriously.
That's the reason why I never identified.
Shave it off.
That's the reason why I never identified as a bear, because this is relatively recent in my extensive span on this earth. This is relatively recent. So I used to be just like you. I used to be very clean shaven. I had to have a smooth face and very little body hair. And I would go to these bear clubs and these bears events, and they would look at me like, "Why are you here?" Like, really? Legit would tell me. One guy came up to me, drunk AF, telling me, "Girl, why are you here?" And I'm like, to have a good time. She goes,
to have a drink.
You're not even a bear. Oh. And she said it just like that. I was like, I know I'm not. I'm just here to have fun or whatever. So I've been scarred. I think I have a little bit of PTSD.
Girl.
I am. I mean, I don't identify as a bear. Not to say I don't want to talk ill about my bear brothers and sisters. Y'all are wonderful. Thank you for the love and support.
I love the bear community.
I do too.
I want to
They do
fit
some
in.
good ass parties, girl.
Yes, ma'am. And some good ass run. I mean, good runs.
Them runs be
bear
real.
runs,
Hashtag.
Especially like TBRU or what is it called? Bear Pride. Oh, we're not supposed to really advertise.
We're not advertising. Hashtag non-sponsored. Okay. Hashtag non-sponsored.
Until.
But if you're watching,
right.
hit us up. But no, yes, they are very organized.
What we should do is do a show from one of the.
I can't wait. Yeah, we should definitely do that.
And just analyze it, talk to the people.
Right, and survey. Have a good old gay bear time.
Oh, this water, girl.
Isn't it wonderful?
It's very cleansing.
Yeah. Been sinuses though. But yes, chub and chasers. So a chub is anyone who is overweight, but the overweight it supersedes what a bear overweight is. So to classify accurately, we would be obese or morbidly obese, just for classification purposes for our non.
With or without hair.
The really interesting thing is that there's a lot of controversy about that because if you're hairy, you're automatically put into the bear category, and that's not necessarily accurate. But by definition, a bear is a hairy, chubby guy. So
let's see. Let's lift our shirts up. Okay. So I don't have a lot of hair.
I have. I'm not necessarily super hairy, but I am moderately hairy.
I think because of this hair right here, you might be classified as a
right.
bear.
That's the reason why people think I'm a bear.
One too many hairs.
Right. Because if it was just like located like here. We'll be fine. But I literally have hair on my whole belly, on my legs, on my back. Oh, girl, we need to.
So I would be considered a smooth chub.
Right, but there's no necessarily indicator to smoother hair.
Chub.
Just chub. You need to be fat as hell.
I see.
Right. And then chaser, which we're both very familiar with the term.
We are?
We are. Well, especially you.
Oh.
Since you have one. Chaser, I mean.
A chaser is what I'll have after this drink, to me.
Right. But a chaser, by definition, is just someone who is thinner in frame.
I don't agree with that.
Well, by definition.
A chaser is someone who likes chubby.
So this is going to spark controversy. Comment below if you want to join into this debate because we have this debate all the time. So by definition, yes. A chaser is someone who likes chubby, hence chubby chaser. And it really transcends both any community, right? Gay or straight, right? There are heterosexual chubby chasers who only mess with big girls, and there are homosexual chasers who only mess with big boys. But the what I feel is one of the major misconceptions of our community is that a chaser has to be thin. You agree with me?
Yeah.
Right.
But it doesn't necessarily have to be a chaser.
Well, if
I mean thin.
Right. We agree to that. We agree on that.
You and I agree.
Yes, but we have people within our inner circle who will say not only is that inaccurate, it is in support of perpetuating chasers to not be thin.
So they expect a chaser to be muscular,
fit. Right? Fit, six packy, like you want
nice arms.
Right, and that's not a chaser. A chaser, by definition, is just someone who likes big people. That's it. Now, it's in our community. It is synonymous for a chaser to be thinner, to have a thin body. Some will even say
that disenfranchise all the chub for chubs.
Right, and
there's a lot of chub for chubs.
That's a real. I mean, there's two of them right here. You know, what I mean, we both.
Yeah, we're bisexual or unisexual.
Unisexual, pansexual.
Pansexual,
yes. But yeah, we. For us, body type isn't necessarily. They're not mutually exclusive.
There's sexiness and beauty in all body types.
Yes, let me tell you, girl. I've had some really cute chubbies that have. Ooh, yes.
So you will be with any size.
Yes, size does not matter. I mean, body size does not matter.
As opposed to
other sizes,
like the hand,
right, or the foot, or the height.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay. So the chub chaser community, we do agree that it's chub for chub.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of
encompasses that.
Right, exactly. So chaser should encompass what they like, not what they look like.
So, what are some struggles that the chub chasing community have?
I think a lot. There's a few misconceptions. One of them is that chasers are psychologically scarred or something, like something happened to them, and that's why they like bigger guys. I think that a lot of people think, and that's why. And we would love to hear from chasers on this particular topic because we would love to be able to dive into that. But a lot of chasers struggle with telling people that they like big guys, and not only do they like big guys, but big guys on the far end of
So
the
it's like
spectrum.
they have to come out again.
The second coming out. I've actually had
Not
friends,
only am I gay, but I like
right,
that dude.
and they find that one, the second coming out, more difficult than the first one, which I
Really?
find fascinating.
So everybody in their circle would know that they're gay.
Right, and cool with it, completely fine, as long as their boyfriends were like, fit, six-packy, bulls.
But secretly, they like fat dudes.
Right, and to give a personal account, I met a very attractive, very beautiful, very handsome chaser who was completely closeted as a chaser. And this kid was hot. I'm talking about 6 foot, 6-pack, beautiful complexion, gorgeous eyes, young, intelligent. Like, I would marry this fool. But he could not tell people that he was into big boys. So he wouldn't date them. He would have them as associates, but would never move forward with that. So it was sad for me to have to be like, look, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not going to be your secret. I was in the closet for 16 years of my life, and I happily came out of that a long time ago. I'm not going to go back in that simply because you're not confident enough to tell your people that you like a guy like me. So it was unfortunate.
Huh. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
It was.
Okay, so what about like events and conventions that are out there that are available for chubs?
I think the best bet for anyone who's within any community, but specifically speaking to my chubbies and my chubby chasers, there's a lot of information on the internet. The way that I discovered the information was just literally searching chubby, bigger city, or what was it, the search engine that I used? I put guys into bigger guys in the city, and I found a website. And that website opened my eyes to the whole entire community. It opened my eyes to the different conventions, the different possibilities to meet. And shout out to the bear community, because the bear community really facilitates a lot for those cities that don't have a well-established chub community. The bear community really facilitates the opportunity for guys like us to be able to meet with other guys. Because the guys that like bears are also chasers as well.
Right.
Because bears are big. We happen to be bigger than bears, but chasers that like big will find both of them relatively attractive. So I would say go online, Google's your best friend in that regard, and just look for, gay chubby or gay chaser, and find the different resources that are available. There's tons of them. And we can forward some links on the description to some places that you can look. These are, again, we're not sponsored. We're just places that we have used in our history to be able to find and connect. We met at one of the events that is hosted annually and have been friends ever since. And that was 6 years ago. So, not only will you find people that you potentially can be romantically inclined with, sexually inclined with, but you also find people that you can connect with and build really lasting friendships with. They're like-minded within the community. So it's an awesome resource to use.
Yeah, I think that we should probably do like an episode later on of all the best events out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And review them. I know there's new ones that are up and coming, and so we will definitely check those out and do an episode for you guys. It is that time, though, that we have to go.
It was so nice. So much fun.
I think it's the water.
I think it was the company.
The company. Oh.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
She got a man, though.
Remember, I got him. Well, I'm not married yet.
We see you, boo.
Anyway, I do want to end with a quote, as I usually do.
Yes, of course. We love your quotes.
And this one actually came from Mr. Harvey Milk.
Okay.
And he said, and you know who Mr. Harvey Milk is. He was assassinated. He was San Francisco city supervisor, was the first openly gay man elected to public office. And he said, if a bullet should enter my brain, let that bullet destroy every closet door. Every closet door. And I think that all our closets the doors need to come out.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what subculture you're part of.
Right.
Just be proud of it.
Exactly. Own yourself. Own your beauty. Own your flaws. Own every aspect of yourself. There's only one you in this world. Why not own it, love it, and share it with as many people as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Safely, please.
Anyway, from all of us here at Chubb Thoughts.
All of us.
Chubb
all of
Thoughts.
Us. Yeah.
To you guys, until next time, I love you guys.
Bye. Everybody.